Hey, I'm Mike, and this is the weekly recap for May 28th to June 3rd, the 6th week of Season 4. As it has been for the last couple of weeks, the majority of my time was spent in MoP. I got all the mounts that I wanted, I got all the toys that I wanted, so I figured now I should start leveling up my warriors so I can hopefully get into harder raids and get more bronze and more transmogs later on, as well as just get the mythic Siege of Orgrimmar achievement whenever I get to that item level. So I started the week at 353.5 on this guy, and I ended up at 418.25. My cloak started at 14,000 stamina and is now up to 41.7 thousand. I was getting quite a lot of bronze this week because I was doing all 5 raids every day. I think there's only a couple days that I missed not doing any raids, and I believe the majority of those runs, the first 3 easy ones were done on heroic, and then throne and siege were done on normal, and then about halfway through we did throne on heroic, and then we eventually did siege as well. Outside of that, I was spending a lot of my time doing all the quests in each zone, so that was giving me a ton of bronze as well, and then of course flying around getting rares for those achievements, so that was even more bronze, and then the daily quests and the daily queues. So since I've done all that now, I anticipate my bronze acquisition being a little bit slower this week and moving forward. And I'm also going to try not to do all 5 raids every single day just because I am feeling a little bit of burnout with that, because that is quite a lot of raiding, even though it ends up being about 3 hours, which is like a normal raid night, but it just feels longer and I just don't have it in me to do that every single day. So I'm going to take it back a little bit, maybe do a couple of raids a day, maybe 1 or 2. So that'll make my item level go up slower, but I'm going to enjoy the game more. One thing I noticed this week is that the anxiety that I was talking about in regards to tanking a couple weeks ago, that seems to be gone now because I feel very confident tanking now. Definitely having more gear and survivability helps with that, but I think also just the fact that I have been tanking now for a few weeks on this guy, and it's just getting a little bit more familiar with how it all works and my abilities and how to not lose threat, or how to get it back if I do lose it. That's been really nice to see. So like I was saying before, having that ability to dictate how fast a raid or dungeon goes is awesome, because a lot of times now what I'm doing is just pulling all the trash up to the first boss and including the first boss, and then we kill everything there, and then everything to the second boss, kill everything there, and then kind of very quickly in terms of dungeons. And then with raids, it's just let's go as quickly as we possibly can. And I really am liking it too. It's a lot more simple than DPSing. I really haven't had a chance to do that much healing, so I don't know how it is compared to that, but I do like just the different gameplay style that I haven't really experienced much for many years. So much so that my ults, my Death Knight that I leveled up to 26, as well as my Monk that I've leveled up to 24, I ended up making both of them tanks as well. I was gonna maybe do DPS because I was like, I don't know if I want to have multiple tanks. I had one 6-minute DPS queue and I was like, this sucks. So I just went tank, and I don't know, I don't feel as anxious as I did before. The one thing though, on that Monk, I'm probably not going to keep him as Brewmaster because I just really, I don't know, there's something about that spec I don't like. It's just very not fun. I don't like it. It seems like I have no AoE abilities. I really don't like I think it's called the stagger dot or whatever, where you're like taking damage for just being in combat. I really don't like that. So I'm probably going to switch over to whatever the healing, I think Mistweaver is what it's called, the spec for healing, and make him a healer just to get quick Qs. Speaking of healers, my priest, I got up to level 70 this week, which was nice. I'm probably not going to play him a whole lot anymore, just going to do the daily raid and dungeon quests, but it'll be nice to get some extra bronze and buy some extra transmog with him. But yeah, my focus this week is just going to be doing daily activities with primarily my warriors, so it'll be the daily quests for rep, and then the daily queue quests, so the scenario, dungeon, and heroic. I usually do heroics first, then I do the normal versions after for the bonus. And then, like I said, maybe a couple raids per day, if not just one, maybe just Mogushon Vaults, since it seems to be the quickest. And then outside of that, I'm just going to be leveling my alts. There's a few different ways I've seen to get max level, where it's like you can disable auto loot and loot everything except for the bonus experience. Other people are just saying loot the bonus experience and just queue up like with a raid and then some dungeons in between and more raid and stuff. So I don't know. I'll see how it all goes. I might just play normally and just focus on raids and dungeons once I get to 25. But yeah, I did spend some time last week creating a bunch of alts that I plan on playing. After this event is over, I should have one of every class level 70, both, and then so 1 Horde and 1 Alliance. And there's a couple of race class combos that just make sense to me that I need to have, like for example, a Troll Shaman, a Human Paladin, a Draenei Shaman, and I think a couple others, but I am anticipating a lot of alts in my future. But the one thing I really wish though is that alts were easier to play in MoP. I was kind of hoping that was the point of this in a way. It would be nice if like the upgrade costs for your main were what they are, and then they're at a reduced cost on your alts, so that way you can play your alts, because I think I said this last week, I would love to be able to play my priest or my Death Knight or my hunter or any other class without feeling like I'm stuck at 346 and it's either spend another hundreds of thousands of bronze for upgrades or buy the transmogs that I want. It kind of feels like I'm tied to my warrior without the ability to play other classes unless I really want to sink as much time as I did into them as I did my warrior, which I definitely do not. I know Blizzard said they're not going to change any upgrade costs, but I really wish they would reconsider that, at least for alts, and ideally before the end of the event. But overall, still having a blast with this event. I am loving playing it. I'm thinking about it often. I'm excited to get off of work and go play more. It's all I've done and all I want to do. I talked earlier about how I did all the heroic raids, and for the most part, they weren't really that bad. It was done with a guild group with 2 people at least who were really high geared, so there was not as much progression as maybe there would be in a pug. But overall, it wasn't that bad. Mogishaw, Terrace, and Heart of Fear were pretty simple. Throne 2 wasn't even that bad. Like, even Durmu now is no longer a problem. Dark Animus, I still don't know which one it is. I think Lei Shen was just the one that was a little bit rough here and there. Just the damage was kind of crazy at times. The main thing with that raid for me is just how long it takes. It's just so long. And then, of course, Siege of Orgrimmar is just about as long, if not longer. But in terms of the fights themselves, Siege is definitely the easier of the two raids, I think. So if I were to rank in terms of difficulty, I guess, and again, this is just from doing it in a guild group, I'm just kind of thinking how it would be in a pug. I think Throne would be the worst. Heart of Fear, I think, just because it has a couple bosses that might be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Terrace, just specifically for that last boss mechanic. And then probably Siege and Mogishan Vaults, because they're not really that difficult at all. For achievements this week, I did absolutely nothing in retail. All the achievements that I got were in MoP, and I only have 5 left to get. There's a few rep-related ones, one of which is the Throne of Thunder rep. I just need to do like one more wing in LFR for 3 bosses, and then I'll be exalted, so I should get that today or very soon after making this video. There's a few more that have just daily quests that I need to do for them, so that'll be in the next week or 2, I imagine, getting those done. And then just Mythic Siege, that's the only thing I have left. The only thing I don't like is the Emperor Xiaohao rep, for some reason, isn't buffed. It's the exact same grind as it is in retail, which I don't know why. I don't know if that's like a bug or if that's supposed to be that way. That one's going to take the longest because it just sucks. I'm thinking that maybe for now my strat will be to do like 1,000 rep per day, because then I'm not going to just be spending hours in a row grinding that. And getting 1,000 rep takes like 10 to 20 minutes depending on respawn times and how busy each area is. But yeah, I don't know why that one is unbuffed. That's kind of annoying. For mounts this week, of course, I did Dragon Soul, and I'll let you guess what happened there again. It was the first time since MoP came out that I went through like the full gambit of mount runs, so it's been nice to do that. It did take a few hours though. Not many things I got, but what I did get was the Mechagon Peacekeeper from HK8 in Mechagon. I'm finally done with this dungeon. I got the hard mode mount back in BFA, so don't have to go here anymore. It's kind of a nice looking mount, and I absolutely love the way it looks when it flies. And then from the trading post, I got the Goblin Wave Shredder, as well as the Riding Turtle. In other WoW news, the War Within beta starts on Wednesday, so I should be getting access to that. I'm not going to be playing it a whole lot. I don't have any plans to level or like do dungeons and raids and stuff. Maybe some raid testing, maybe. But there's just a couple things I want to check out. I probably will have a video out this Friday about one of those things, so just come back for that or subscribe if you're interested in that. The last time I actually played a beta was back in BFA, and after that I realized, oh, I hate this. I never want to do this again because I feel like I'm working right now. I realized I really hated like optimizing my leveling route, so I got to the max level as quickly as possible so I could utilize the hours I had in a day to get all the mythic dungeons done and get as much gear as I could and do all this and that. I just play the game casually. I'm not in a rush, and I don't really need to know how to get to quest A to 47 as fast as I can. I can just play. But that's pretty much it. There's not a lot to report this week. I've just been going hammy-sammies in MoP, grinding my little heart away. Let me know what's going on for you. If you're playing MoP Remix, what you're doing, how that's going. Where are you spending your bronze? Did you finally get everything you wanted to do and now you're finally dumping it into gear, or vice versa with doing it gear and now getting mounts? If you're playing Classic, let me know what's going on there. I know Kata came out last week. How's everyone liking that? Or maybe you're still in retail grinding out something, whether it's Mythic Plus, raids, pets, mounts, achievements. Let me know what you got going on in your life. Love you lots. I'll talk at you on Friday. Make sure to come back and check out that War Within beta video. And if that's not for you, I will talk at you this time next week for the weekly recap for next week. Hugs and kisses and all that cute stuff. Bye-bye.